So we went over this was after week 3. We went over our cross off teams. And I just wanted to see how currently how they're doing right now. And we went I'm gonna read off the list that we had, the original list. We had Giants 2-5. We have the Saints 1-6, the Texans 2-4, the Jets 0-7, the Titans 1-6, the Bengals 3-4, and the Falcons 3-3. How are you feeling about that list in its totality? Because I think that people will hear that and be like, well, what about the Bengals? What about the Falcons? I'm still feeling pretty good about both those teams, honestly, on that list.
Bengals, yes, but I think the only team that I am slightly nervous on is the Falcons, just because of. I mean, I guess if we're crossing them
They
off,
just
right? We
dropped the
cross them
game
off
to
if
the
they aren't.
San
I was just
Francisco
going to say
49ers.
they're crossing them off if they're not making the playoffs. Is that what we? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, then they're getting crossed off because they're not going to be. They're not good enough to win their division, but they are like frisky enough to maybe hang around. I just don't think they're going to catch the Bucks at this point. But they're probably the best cross-off team, I guess. That's about it. But yeah, I feel good about the list overall. Then I actually do think there's a team that I want to add to it.
Brother, I have 3 teams that I want to add to it.
Okay, go ahead.
The first team that needs to get added to it automatically are the 1-6 Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, honestly, I thought we crossed those off, and I just misheard you. But yeah, they're done.
The next team that I want to put on the cross off is the 2-5 Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
And
Fair.
the last one on this list, or there's 2. One I'm going
I
to
have
throw
2
out
as well.
Yeah. And the last one that I want to have concrete would be the 2-5 Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah. I've got 2 other ones that I'm like that the pen. I've got one that I think pen is on paper crossing off, and then I've got another one that I'm very close to crossing off.
I think probably I would guess the Cleveland Browns and the Ravens.
Shit, I might have 4 teams then.
I'm putting the Cleveland Browns as definite. Who do you have?
Yeah. I think that we can cross off the Commanders. I don't think that they're. I just don't think that they're going to be a. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team. I haven't liked what I've seen from them. I think they're the 3rd best team in their division.
I'm not there with it yet.
Not yet.
No, I mean, dude. It's this division's so tight. I mean, it's the second spot in that division, unless if the Eagles continue to free fall. They almost lost a game this past weekend. They came back and won, but that second spot in that division, there only might be one playoff team in that division. So I think that as of right now, I know Jaden Daniels is out for Monday Night Football, obviously, but that would only put them at 3-5. And if he can come back, I mean, they could still win 8-9 games. So I don't think that I'm a definite cross off on them. That I'm with you. Me and you both said that the Commanders were going to take a massive step back this season. We're watching that happen in live time, but with the Dallas Cowboys, massive issue on the defensive side of the football, where they've already let up 206 points, like most of the NFL. Well, the Bengals let up 214, but second most in the NFL. I mean, that's really where it's either of those teams can finish in second in my head.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I listen. I'm fine with I have a pencil right here. I can write it in pencil, but I'm not writing it in pen.
That's fair. I just haven't loved the way that they've looked all season, and honestly, I think that beat down from Dallas could very well be the tipping point where it kind of just starts to fall, because these next 3 games, they played the Chiefs, the Seahawks, and the Lions. So there's a scenario where they easily go 0-3 right there, and they're sitting at 3-7 and 5 straight losses.
Definitely a possibility.
So I'm not feeling good about them. I haven't even felt good about them necessarily in their wins. Um, but another team that I'm probably right there on the verge with is the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know what this quarterback situation is going to look like. I don't. It feels. Bill Simmons was talking about this, and I think there might be some validity to it. Is like, is this a silent benching for JJ McCarthy, or are they just being extra cautious with him in this injury? I don't think you can keep trotting Carson Wentz out there and expect to be a playoff team. I don't know if you can trot JJ McCarthy out there and expect to be a playoff team. We haven't seen enough from him. He's played 2 good quarters in his NFL career and then been injured the rest of the time. And then if you look at the rest of the division, the Lions, the Packers, and the Bears are all better than the Vikings.
I'm
At the
not there.
very least, the Packers and the Lions are.
I'm just not there with it. I mean, you're sitting here. They have 3 losses. The Lions have 2 losses. The Chicago Bears have 2 losses. Like all these teams could easily go out and lose a game next week, and the Vikings can win one, and the Vikings could be second in the division. It's way too close at this point to figure that out. And
It
I
is,
think that
but
even the question mark about JJ McCarthy is even more of a reason to leave them off this list, just because you don't really know what you're getting out of him yet. No, he's not getting silently benched. He's hurt. He
but
has a
when
high
is
ankle
but
sprain. He has a high
okay.
ankle sprain. Every other person who in the world who has a high ankle sprain misses like 6 weeks of the season. They come back from the high ankle sprain and they look like shit. Like that's an injury that like for the tale of time has been a bad injury for everyone.
But that plays into my point even more is like you can't I don't think you can trot Carson Wentz out there for
Definitely.
another chunk of this season and expect to make the playoffs in that great of a division.
Listen, completely agree with you. I just think that it's pretty close. It's still close enough where like they have, I'm looking right now, like the point differential, the Chicago Bears have -3, the Vikings have +20. Like the Chicago Bears are on a 4-game win streak. They're heating up. Like what happens if they lose a few in a row? Like
Yeah,
we're
that's fair, which could easily
we
happen.
watched we watched the Vikings squeak by in games. I mean, shit, like we talked about, they almost beat the Eagles this past weekend. They didn't obviously, but like with rolling Carson Wentz out there, who like it's been the corpse of Carson Wentz for like the last like 4 seasons of the NFL. So like for
Yeah.
them to even be like in some of these games really speaks measures about like how talented this roster is, how good this coaching staff is, and that's why I just feel like they're a team that you just like can't cross off quite yet.
All right, that's fair. I've got pen on paper with the Vikings and the Commanders at this point. I'll leave them off. I'll leave them off the crossed off list, but the pen is there.
Um, so to recap this cross off list of teams who are not going to make the playoffs this season, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 teams already. We have the 2-5 Cleveland Browns, the 2-5 Las Vegas Raiders, the 2-5 Arizona Cardinals, the 1-6 Miami Dolphins, the 3-3 Atlanta Falcons, probably our sketchiest one on this list. The Bengals at 3-4, the Titans at 1-6, the Jets at 0-7, the Texans at 2-4, the Saints at 1-6, and the Giants at 2-5. Before we move on to our last few things here on the day, I just wanted to really sit here and talk about the Houston Texans, because what's happening with this football team when you're watching them like on a week to week basis is like the 2 teams that they beat this year were the detrimentally hurt Baltimore Ravens and Cooper Rush, and they
Yep.
beat the Titans, who are awful, like one of the worst teams historically. What the hell's going on over there?
I don't know. I think
Um,
that was
and
just somebody driving by.
we watch they're in a standalone spot in a Monday night game at 10 o'clock on the East Coast, and you're watching this team, and it's like, wow, this defense is so talented and so nasty, and they could kind of make anything happen. And then every single time that the offense gets the football, it is absolutely painful to watch.
It's
And
horrible.
going into the season, we talked about it. We said this is one of the worst running back rooms in the entire league. And this is one of the worst O-lines in the entire league. And everybody's sitting here wondering what's wrong and why, what happened, and why is CJ Stroud like rewired in a way where it's like he looks like shit. He hasn't been as good as he was his rookie year and has kind of fell off back-to-back years. It's like, this is what happens when you do not have a solid foundation in the trenches on the offensive side of the football. And what happens when your run game is pretty much non-existent. And when you're asking CJ Stroud to continuously throw on the superhero cape, he's just not going to be able to make it happen every single time. And this is the culmination of all of that this season. And I think that it's going to get way worse as we watch it progress.
If they were just like a middle of the road offense, this team would probably be 4-2. But offensively, they're just so incompetent. They cannot run the football. They cannot protect CJ Stroud. It's just like they're just fighting. It feels like they're fighting an uphill battle every single time they're playing, and not being able to do anything efficiently, even remotely efficient on offense, is just going to continue to be the downfall of this team. And I would also say that CJ Stroud, like saying he's getting old and not as fast as he once was, like, even if that's true, just don't say it, please. Because if I was a fan, I really wouldn't want to hear that from you after the bad offensive performances that we have seen thus far in the season. I don't think it's ultimately that big of a deal. That would just be something where if I was a fan, I'd be like, dude, come on. Can you just like not do that, please?
But the one thing that we said before the season started was, why is he on all these podcasts? And it's playing out exactly that way.